In this video, we are going to go over Lucid's earnings. I just spent an hour reading their earnings transcript and taking notes, going over the good, bad, and ugly. So let's go ahead and dive into exactly what happened and the different things that we learned. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, I took notes and we're going to go through everything. I'm not going to take a super long time just because we did learn some things, but not a ton of new things. So you can obviously tell by the colors what that means. Red is bad, yellow is it's all right, good, okay, and green is obviously good. Okay, they delivered 360. This is lower than I was anticipating. I wanted obviously more. I wanted around the 550 range, but we didn't quite get that. However, the good news is they delivered 300 in April alone. So they did 360 in Q1, but it looks like they're starting to figure out their supply chain and they're actually starting to ramp their production line, which is better than, it could have been a lot worse, which is good. Like we didn't get any shock and awe in the terms of like bad. We had some like decent little surprises, but nothing that was like, no way. Obviously 360 delivered. Nobody was expecting that they were going to deliver like 1,000 out of the park. All right, this is a little bit of shock and awe towards the good side, but it could be setting it for a catastrophic failure or a magnificent Q4. They are still expecting to have 12 to 14,000 deliveries based on the information that we have at this point. They had 30,000 reservations. That was a 17% increase from what I saw last quarter. Last quarter, they had 25,000 reservations. My math may be a little off, but nonetheless, I was happy with that 30,000 reservation number. So good on Lucid. Obviously, I think that's actually, how much I see them advertising. I see them on every NBA playoff game. I see them advertising everywhere. So it means their ads are working, they're converting, and hopefully they're seeing a good ROI with what they're spending on ads. This was probably like what I was most frustrated about is they're still not done with the Dream Edition. I can't believe they have not finished that yet. Oh well. Look, they're at least delivering Grand Tourings. Next, we had 11 over-the-air updates this last quarter, which I think is actually pretty good. They're continuing to get better at their software, and that's what will make Lucid a better technology play going forward. Obviously, a lot of people say Lucid's a fantastic technology play, but I personally drove a Lucid Air Dream Edition, and I've driven a Tesla. Which software do I prefer at the moment? Obviously, I'm going to take the Tesla. I've driven both. So that's just my opinion. Take with it what you will. Next, we heard that we know that they're building a factory in Saudi Arabia soon. They'll be breaking ground in Saudi Arabia soon. When is soon? When? I don't know. We didn't get an answer to that. They did increase the price of their cars, and we'll touch on this in a couple of minutes, but they did increase the price on their car. I called this a couple of days ago. I was like, guys, every other auto manufacturer has increased the production of increased the price of their cars. Lucid's doing this relatively soon. They're happy with the reservation numbers, and I said good because they're spending a lot on ads, and I think that's true, but obviously it must be, at this point, I think what they're spending on ads is probably helping them just get that exposure. They talked about step one, having Lucid be recognized as a global luxury brand, and I definitely get that feel from their commercials. So you can kind of tell where their priorities are. This was also green was kind of like more bullish than I thought. The Grand Touring performance model is still expected. The performance one, like the one they just announced, is expected to be delivered in June, and the Air Pure later this year. That was one of my questions going into this earnings calls. Are they going to delay the Grand Touring performance model are they going to prioritize the Grand Touring performance model over the Air Pure model? And it looks like they're still going to be able to fit both of them within this year. And there's a model in between that. It's called the Touring. So relatively surprised there. I did see Peter Rawlinson get some praise for this on Twitter. He said the question was the most ridiculous question, I still think. What's your plan to compete with Tesla and Rivian? And I told you he was not going to mention them by name. Peter wasn't. And two, he was basically just like, we're competing with gas cars. And I said that he doesn't care about the EV space. He's like, we compete against gasoline cars. Like there's enough of this pie to go around. So let's just all keep getting better to like transition the world to a greener environment. So I've read a lot of earnings calls, and one of the surprises that I saw is Lucid's actually saying they're buying more inventory ahead. I've read like 10 earnings calls this last 2 weeks, guys. I have not seen too many companies explicitly say we are buying inventory ahead of time, which it may just be extremely obvious. It may just be common sense, but Lucid is one of the companies that has actually specified it. This question drove me crazy. Somebody asked, how's Lucid's Electric's energy storage system going? Like, how are you guys doing developing it? And I was like, please tell me you're not doing very well developing it, because that means you're spending all of your time and resources on your cars. And they said that they're not paying much attention to it, like it's in development. And I said that's bullish because I don't think that question should be asked for at least 5 more years. Like, get focused on your production, get your production ramped. So I was relatively thankful for that. And then Sherry House chimed in. She's like, by the way, we're not spending a lot of resources or finances on it, so don't worry. I was grateful for that. Somebody asked about their charging networks, which I thought it's a relatively common sense answer, but it was better than the last question. Was like, what's your plan with charging? It's like, we're going to use Electrify America still. Nothing has changed. And something that I didn't know is they actually have until June 30th, 2022 to get 3 years of free charging. So interesting. And then I don't know who asked this question. I don't know why they asked this question. They asked, are you planning on releasing a new vehicle this year? Guys, they've released 2. So they have the Dream Edition. They haven't even finished delivering yet. They have the Grand Touring Performance, Grand Touring, and then they have the Touring, and then they have the Air Pure. And we know they're working on the Project Gravity in 2024. So within the next 2 years, we know that they're going to have 5 cars. Why would you want to have another car in that mix? Like, we only have 30,000 reservations. Like, come on, guys. Q1 was 700 production, which is a lot better. On Monday, I'm going to put a spreadsheet together of like kind of extrapolating this and like what they need to do to get to where they want to go. I know you can't just simply multiply these numbers by 4 because you're not going to get what you want. So I'm going to do like a full fundamental analysis, like with capital expenditure, their overhead, their net profit, their net loss, and exactly what they need to do to get where they want to be by the end of the year so they can hit that 12 to 14,000. So if you want to see that video, subscribe because we'll be going over it on Monday. This was actually a pretty cool question by an investor. He's like, hey, Rivian's prices have gone up 18%. Tesla's Model S has gone up 25% over the last 12 months. Your cars have only increased price from 18 to 13%. Basically, they just said like, we're going to have, in the future, we're going to have to see. So it doesn't sound like they're planning on another price increase anytime soon, but it doesn't sound like it's off the table, which I definitely don't think it should. I mean, if the economy's at this stage for Lucid, I don't want them eating any more cost than they have to. I want them to pass that cost onto the consumer as much as possible. It doesn't sound like Lucid's going to see any sort of battery shortage in the near future because they said they have a multi-year deal planned with LG and Samsung. So I know Rivian CEO did come out a little while ago saying, hey, we're going to have a battery shortage in 10 years. And he said that the battery production is only 10% of it where it needs to be in 10 years. So it sounds like within the next couple of years, Lucid won't have an issue with that. We'll see down the road. Peter Rawlinson said they're seeing a strong mix of demand for different cars. Obviously, the cheaper the car is when it's in production, they're going to see higher demand for it. I mean, it's just common sense, which is good. I'm glad that he was clarified that. And then I've seen a lot of people commenting on my videos and also on Twitter saying, oh, Lucid said by mid-decade they're going to have 500,000 deliveries. No, let's hold our horses a little bit. They will have the capacity for 500,000. Guys, we only have 30,000 reservations. Like, we need to keep producing. Like, they'll have the capacity to, and that's if everything goes according to plan. It may not go according to a plan. I'm cautiously optimistic. So when you're doing like your fundamental analysis, I would not project 500,000 cars by like 2025. I think that would be, if they did, then that changes a lot for Lucid. But for right now, I'm remaining cautiously optimistic, and we'll talk about my estimates on Monday regarding my projections and how I felt. Honestly, like I was expecting for the crap to hit the fan this earnings call, but it looks like, so if I had to I guess I can't draw right here, but if right here, if I had to draw, that's the end of my notes. So we'll go full screen. If I had to if I'm right here before the earnings call, and this is like the side where the crap hits the fan, and this is the side where okay, we're actually making progress, I would say I stepped on this side of the fence. I am cautiously optimistic that Lucid is I'm optimistic and I'm happy that Lucid is making progress. I didn't see any steps backwards. And that's obviously what you want. You never want to see a company at this stage take steps backwards. So I guess I was preparing for the worst, but I think the best possible outcome came from the expected results, from the anticipated results. They weren't going to come out and deliver 5,000 cars. They weren't going to say we have 50,000 reservations. But I do feel like we're taking steps in the right direction, which as an investor in a company like this is the only thing you can ask for. So I'm happy. I mean, I'm not over the moon. I'm not increasing my exposure to Lucid quite yet. I will probably wait until after next earnings call and then reevaluate to see if they can continue, because next earnings call they may come out and be like, yeah, that 12 to 14,000 number is not going to happen. So I'm currently not increasing my exposure to Lucid. It still remains about a 2% portion of my portfolio. I believe I'm 85% Tesla. So you can obviously tell where a lot of my confidence lies. However, Lucid is making great strides. So I applaud them for that. And I really enjoyed going through their earnings call. If you guys didn't see, I don't think I showed you guys, but if you're still here, you might want to see this. So I'm gonna show you guys what we did. We got their earnings transcript and we went through every single page. Whoops, we went page by page for their earnings transcript, and we highlighted purple, pink is bad, green is good, red is yellow is neutral, and we did that the whole earnings call. Whoops, you guys can't even see my screen. I'm so sorry about that. So we did this the whole earnings call. Green good, yellow neutral, pink bad. And we did that the whole thing. We took notes, and then at the end, we came and we took all of our notes, and then you color code them according to how you felt. Red, bad, green, good, yellow, all right, blue. I think blue was actually supposed to be good, but oh well, you know what I mean. So if you guys enjoy my perspective, if you enjoy my middle of the road perspective where I'm not afraid to talk about the good, bad, and ugly with companies, especially Lucid, consider subscribing to Lucid Daily. If you're watching this on my main channel, consider subscribing. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like always, see you next time. Thanks for watching.